this is really bad. I've thought about the AI thing before, honestly, but hearing what this person has to say is showing that they have no idea what they have done. So the brains behind AI video, specifically very cinematic AI video, AI generation of video, I don't think they have any idea what they've done to the world. And we're going to talk a little bit about the filmmaking industry and creatives, especially video creatives, because that's what we talk about here on the channel. We talk about the future of filmmaking. So if that's your thing, subscribe to the channel. We're going to take a listen to this BBC interview of the CEO woman, I believe her name is Demi, of Pika Labs, and hear what she has to say about the filmmaking world and creative specifically in relation to production and workflow and jobs, right? This is kind of scary. It really is. And I'm not saying the AI is scary. I'm talking about her perspective, the person who's doing the work and creating it. Take a listen.
Who's CEO of Pika Labs AI. Just over a year ago, Demi dropped out of Stanford University's prestigious artificial intelligence degree course and is now running one of the world's most exciting generative AI-powered video startups. And she has raised close to, wait for it, $150 million in investment. And by the way, she's still only 26 years old. So congratulations
I could tell. I think I see a pimple right there. She's just a little baby.
On all of that. And just tell us, we just saw one of your videos. How is it made? Just talk us through, in very, very simple terms, how you do it.
There are different ways. So we basically train an AI foundation model. We call it a AI video model. So this is similar to like ChatGPT, like for a language. So we have an AI model that can, that really understands video and can generate video. And the way the users interact with this model, there are many ways. The most simple way is the user can type into a description of what they want. So for example, the user can type in a giant monster is walking in the street of New York. So the AI will be able to generate a clip where there is actually a monster that walking in the street of New York.
Okay, so it's as simple as that. You just type what you want, and then AI visualizes it quite brilliantly. If that video is anything to go by, and it is all at a very minimal cost, isn't it? I mean, how much would something like that cost, for example?
Yes. So right now it costs. There are different variety of costs, but it definitely generating. If you want to make a feature length film, it probably only costs at most $2,000, which is very a huge difference between the actual right now for the making a feature length film might cost couple $100 million or at least tens of millions of dollars.
Wow. So 2,000
right off the top. This isn't anything we haven't heard before. I mean, we think of Sora, right? It's a video generation that ChatGPT has put into place that actually was being worked on months and months ago. I heard that Tyler Perry, actually here in Atlanta, put the kibosh on expanding his studio space, and it was going to be a $400 million worth of new studio space and studio renovations and everything for the future of film and studio. And then he saw what ChatGPT or Sora video generation of AI was doing, and he said, stop everything. This is going to be a waste of money if I keep moving forward based on what I'm seeing here. So it's really significant, but it's also not new. We've been seeing this and we knew it was coming. I think it's interesting to hear her say that a whole feature film essentially can be prompted and then created for a few $1,000s versus the huge budgets. I'm not disputing that. I do think it'd be difficult to prompt with consistency a feature film, but it's kind of what she says next about the job market inside of production when she's pressed on that that is really disturbing to someone like myself who's really into filmmaking and cares about jobs and work and people in the filmmaking space. So take a listen.
$1,000. That's incredible, isn't it, Samir?
It is. So how do you see this impacting the creative industries, right? Because obviously, that's a huge cost difference. And how do you think that creatives are going to be playing a role in the future? What's your vision for this?
I really believe in that AI is not, replacing creators, but it's really about like helping or serving creators. Because we all know right now, whether you're creating a film or create a short video, it's still a very complicated process. There's a huge gap between your creative idea to the execution. So essentially what AI is doing and what we want to do is to help save the creators time by, really, let them be able to focus on the creative idea part, not the manual part of creating a video.
But the thing is, the creative manual part of a story is a part of the creative process. The visual element to a story or a film is like the main part. If we were just cared about the story and that was the only creative part, then learn writing and write a book, or get into like audio experience kind of storytelling. Why do films if the visual part of it is to be considered not the creative part of the process?
Surely, Demi, it's going to cost a lot of jobs, isn't it? I mean, that's what the Hollywood creators are really worried about, the writers and so on, the filmmakers.
Yes. The way we think about it, I don't think it's real. People are losing jobs, but it's more creating new kind of job where it will change the way people do their job.
What? She doesn't think it's going to replace jobs, but change the way they do their job? I'm sorry. Let's break it down to the most fundamental job in filmmaking. A man behind a camera. If you are generating the images, what does the man who knows how to operate a camera do? What job do they have? You have visual designers, and on some level, their job is also at risk, but you have visual designers. So you're like, okay, well, if it's all fake animation, okay, or AI animation, but it looks real, then maybe they could be like, okay, we need consistency. So their job is no longer operating a camera, but sitting there and making sure that shadows and lighting are consistent for continuity's sake. Like, what the crap is the job if the person who operates cameras is no longer behind a camera? Or take it to another level, right? If you're just dealing with like animation, what job is the person who is the animator who works in 3D models and builds skeletons and builds textures and dynamic lighting and all of the artists in that industry? If now you just prompt your animation and movements and characters, what job do they have now? They have all of this useless information in their mind. The fact that she says, I don't see it as replacing jobs, but changing how you go about your job. Like, maybe that's her age showing. 26 years old, she's a CEO, and she doesn't understand the fact that AI is going to completely demolish 90+% of all of the jobs in the current filmmaking industry.
So you can imagine, basically people in the past, they may go to somewhere to film it, but now they are able to direct it at their computer. So
because that's a lot of fun. That's so much fun. I've always dreamt of making a movie right here, right in this spot. That sounds so much fun. I don't want to get on a plane and go see a new world and on the other side of the globe and film something that's so unique and real, because that's so boring. Who wants to do that? I want to sit right here and do it. I just want to type in my prompts. It's like they don't know what creativity is. The people, the smart brains behind AI and what they've created just completely went like, what's this? the jobs of everybody in a whole bunch of industries. They don't give a crap, nor do they understand what they've done. Now, there is the argument that it was inevitable, and that's valid. It doesn't matter who's behind it. The AI argument was inevitable, okay? If that is the case, then we as filmmakers, as creatives, as visual storytellers have a decision to make. The first decision that we have to make is, which road are we going down? You have two paths. The first path is fully embracing AI and all that it entails. There's a lot of pros and cons to that. It's going to be what everybody does. And by nature, therein lies the cons, okay? It's going to be what everybody does, so it's going to be industry standard, and that means all of the competition and all of the world is going to be on that path. Everyone's going to be on the AI train, and there's just going to be way more competition, way more overexposure. And then think about platforms like YouTube. I think there's going to be an element of, genuine human desire, right? And genuine human entertainment that people still are going to crave. And so they're not going to be necessarily very swayed towards the fake artificial version of entertainment. But that also means with visual storytelling, especially with concepting and ideas and the art of filmmaking and production is going to be dominated by this one side. So it's going to be a surplus like we've never seen before of content coming out. Because like she said, someone can just sit and prompt a film and then upload it to YouTube and be like, there's my story. And they never got off their butt. This also means we're going to see a nauseating amount of garbage when it comes to storytelling. The other path is going to be completely reject artificial intelligence. This is going to be led by the leaders of people like Christopher Nolan, all right? He's on that path. I think he's interested in AI, but I think there's also an element that he has no desire to use AI to film his production, to make his films as a part of his working process, because on some level it's easy. And when has Chris Nolan done anything easy with his productions? It's very clear that he goes out of his way to make it authentic, that he does everything in camera. It's baked with light onto film, 70 millimeter film to be exact. And so he wants everything to be authentic. And so why would you use artificial? There's that path as well. But the problem with that path is that it is going to be extremely expensive, and it is going to be very time consuming. And there's going to be a niche market of people in the world who cares about that path, who cares about the stories that's coming out of authentic human experiences. Because if we're being honest, in today's world with viewing behaviors, people are going to be like, what's the biggest, flashiest thing that I can watch? That's probably going to be produced and created by artificial intelligence or creators utilizing it. And then on the other side, you're going to have people who are just like, I just want to watch a YouTube video. Like, I don't necessarily want to watch a whole film that was authentically made by, 35 or 70 millimeter film. That's like super kind of old style filmmaking, but they're doing it on principle. It's just not going to interest as many people. And so the market is extremely niche, but it's more expensive. So we kind of have two very somewhat depressing paths that we have to choose here. We know the entire industry, for the most part, is going to be on the AI path, right? And I think there's going to be a growing insurgence of audience members for independent films. And that means that gives you the option, at least it gives indie filmmakers the option to build community, to build personal followings, and attempt to create and keep alive the art of filmmaking and authentic storytelling built around the personalities and the audiences that people care about, which is why I always say in a lot of my videos recently, it's very important if you're a filmmaker and a storyteller to start building an audience of people who care about you first, not your work first. Your work is second. Your work is the money-making option for you and the creative outlet for you, but your bread and butter is you. Your bread and butter is the audience that wants connect with you. And so that's going to have to be the only way that filmmakers can succeed and build a career in the future of filmmaking. And then there's another option you have to decide. If you're just wanting to be like, I just want to work in film, or like, I just want to go to Hollywood or move to a city and just work in film as a writer or an animator or a production assistant or something. I just want to be on sets because I like the filmmaking world. I'm not myself a writer or a director or producer. I'm not like the filmmaker. I just want to be a part of the process. With all the stuff that you've heard, it's time for you to seriously consider the question, is it worth it? Like, is it actually a good idea? Not just for your sake, but for your potential family or future family's sake, for income reasons. Because I'm going to be honest with you, as I already said, probably more than 90% of all the industry jobs are going to be replaced with artificial intelligence. And differently to what this CEO is saying, it is not going to change the way that people do their jobs. It is going to replace jobs. That is the honest assessment here. You have to just consider, is the creative filmmaking world, with how limited the money is already, is it worth it to even get in? Because the studios are going to be utilizing AI to save as much money as possible and collect as much money as possible. The last thing they want to do is to pay more unions and to pay more workers to do jobs that they don't need to be paying for. So yeah, it looks like AI might single-handedly demolish the filmmaking field, the filmmaking job market as we know it. The good news, though, if you are an indie filmmaker, your best resource is that you are in fact a human and you can still make your films, and you just have to follow a new path. Don't follow the old guard's path, right? Those days are gone. The technology has arrived that fundamentally changes everything. Move forward in a path that's authentic and built around you completely. That's what I would say. That's what I'm planning on doing. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of this video, and subscribe to the channel if you like talking about filmmaking and the future of filmmaking and new technology and all the cool stuff we talk about here on the channel. Subscribe, like the video, stick around. I'll see you next time.